What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gameball. I'm your host, Matson Montilla. Today, we welcome a very special guest, somebody who epitomizes the idea if you set your mind to something, you can achieve anything. He didn't start playing football until his junior year of high school, and now he's playing at the highest level of Power 4 football with Syracuse. In high school, his junior year, he was named All-Region First Team, and he also led his team to the state semifinals in Georgia, and that's a place that has a lot of talent. During his senior year, he was named MVP of his team before going to Miami University, where he went to three straight MAC championships, winning in 2023, beating Toledo 23 to 14, going to three straight bowl games, and now obviously is now at Syracuse University trying to restore what this program is known to be, which is a winning program, being top 30 in total wins in college football. I welcome a friend, a teammate, a son, a TikToker, Cole Weaver. How you doing, man?
They're doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely. So how's Syracuse going?
It's great. It's definitely, like you said, I'm from Georgia, so the weather's it's gotten some having to get used to, but it's not bad. I'm loving it for sure.
Yeah. So the weather, I mean, it's been snowing like crazy there the past couple of
Yeah,
months, right?
definitely. Not used to it at all.
Yeah. So you just had spring break, but before that, mat drills. So was
Oh
it a
yeah.
nice reset?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was great work. They do things differently than at Miami. I honestly feel like just the weight program and everything I've done there, like this is probably the biggest gains I've made strength wise my entire time being in college. So that's been huge. Yeah, we didn't really do mat drills at Miami, so that was a change of pace. Definitely took a little bit out of me, but it was great. It was really good work.
Okay, so what was it like doing it for, I guess, the first time, like a full preparation for it?
It was definitely like I feel like I should have had that maybe freshman year of college, like that first early morning mat drills, but I never got that. So we did things definitely differently at Miami. It was a lot more so like running and sprint work and stuff like that, where this is like true mat drills. So it was definitely hard, but I mean I've been in college for a while. I feel like I'm in good shape. So it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, you always hear the horror stories of mat drills. I knew some people at Clemson that played on the team, and they would talk about you're up at 5 in the morning and it's bright and early, and you're just putting your body on the line. People are throwing up. Uh,
Uh,
your first day, first week doing it, was it? I know you said you're obviously you're an athlete, so you're in great shape, but did it kind of shock you mentally?
definitely a little bit. It was like I did it. I think we did it one time in high school, and that's like all I had to like reference for. Like people were talking about mat drills. I've obviously woken up early before, so I was used to that. But yeah, like you said, it's like war, man. You're putting your body on the line. You don't know when you're gonna finish. You don't know how many reps you're doing. It's literally just like I'm gonna keep doing this until they tell me to stop, and I don't know when I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just put the body on the line. So it's definitely eye-opening if when you get to college and having never done that. But yeah, it can be hard. It
You're
really.
talking about how it's like war, and but you're going at it with your brothers, your teammates. Did it help bring you guys a little bit closer together, especially with all the transfers coming, everyone trying to get to know each other?
Oh, definitely. I think that's one of the main things that really brings teams closer together is like it sucks. Like you're doing a lot of things that you don't want to do. Nobody wants to wake up and go to work at 5 a.m. So it's like it's almost like you talk about these things when you're done. Like everybody at every college is doing the same thing you're doing. So it's kind of like when you go to the locker room after, like, man, that was awful, but like we got through it together. And like you said, like while you're going through it, you know, one of my teammates, he might have his hand on my shoulder, and I might be lifting him up, making sure he's standing up straight, just like telling him, "You got this. Let's keep going." So
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely brings you guys together for sure.
The past couple of years at Miami, with the new era of college football transfer portal, right? You're getting 20 new guys to the portal, 20 new freshmen coming in.
Definitely.
Big change. Teams are just they're a lot different. Now you're on the other side of it. So do you think having been at Miami and seeing how the transfers come in prepared you to make this transition to a new school?
I think so for sure. A good mentor for me was Dion Colsey. He had came in from Notre Dame last year, and I kind of would ask him like, "What is it like learning a new playbook? What is it like, you've learned this system for such and such amount of years, and then transitioning." So I think seeing some of like him and some of those other guys come in, Cam Perry came in, did the same thing. they definitely talked about it was difficult, making that change, but you know, college football is a copycat league. A lot of people run the same plays. So it's honestly, it was kind of difficult to learn. I'm still learning a lot of the plays now. It's kind of just like a change in terminology and things like that. But yeah, definitely seeing him how, he used the iPad every day. I even bought an iPad just because he was using it. Like little things like that, just that I picked up on. Um, Definitely helped me grasp what it's like being a transfer. Like I'm glad you asked that question because it definitely seeing those guys do it made me feel more comfortable
Mhm.
when I ended up making that decision for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and being comfortable with the playbook, that's the only way we get to see the field. So,
Exactly.
what's it been like trying to learn it?
Honestly, I really like Syracuse's offense a lot. They run a true pro style offense. Coach Nixon, the offensive coordinator, he's had a ton of roles, a lot of success. So it's definitely a lot. I would say we do. There's a lot more. There's just honestly more plays in general at Syracuse than there were at Miami to learn. Um, It's definitely difficult. I won't say it's easy. Learning a new offense is definitely difficult, but I do like this offense system a lot more than we had at Miami. I think it's more pro style for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and when you're going through learning this playbook, obviously you have this receiving core that has some vets in there returning some new players. Are you guys working together, or how does it like? How do you, I guess, learn the playbook? Is it just doing it on your own time in the film room with your coaches? How does one go about it?
It's a little bit of everything. I feel like when you get to college, it's a lot more, it's on you. So it's a little bit of teaching. Like they'll talk about the plays in meetings and stuff like that. And I'll ask teammates about plays in case I just don't remember something or if they have a better way to remember it. I will ask some of the other guys in the room, but I'd say majority of it is on you. Like they send you the playbooks. You need to know this certain amount of plays by this time. So a lot of it falls onto you. And at that point, like people say, college football is a job. So if you want to be successful, you have to do the little stuff yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely spend time at night just studying stuff like that.
Yeah. So this is a little off topic, but with the playbooks, with like maybe Miami would be a better example because you played there and you knew the whole playbook. How comparable is the playbook you're doing in college to what they put in the video game for the new college EA?
That's so funny you asked that. Yeah. I don't know. I got to see what it's like for Syracuse because there's no way EA just knows our plays, right? So
Yeah.
I actually did test that out. When the first game came out, I was like, no way they have our plays, right? It's not the same. I feel like there's probably a couple that EA probably picks up on, but yeah, no, the video game is completely different.
Okay,
Completely.
so like EA is just trying to like watch film and build it. They don't ask the coaches or ask anyone for the playbook.
They didn't, it wasn't like that at Miami. I can't say the same for other schools. I'm sure maybe like an Ohio State or Bama. I mean, maybe even Syracuse. I gotta see this year they could do. But I honestly wish they did because oh my, it'd be way better. Like if I could sit there and make the same reads that I'm making in real life, like on the video game. Oh my God.
I mean, it would help you learn, but then everyone's going to steal your playbook.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
going to be
So
clammed.
it's
So,
not the same. It's not the same.
yeah, I was always wondering. So I'm like, I don't know. There's no way they're just grabbing someone's playbook.
Right?
And but like half the plays are all four verts. So I'm like, there's no way
I
that
know, yeah.
any
Like
coach wants to
everybody just
run
runs some
this.
more Earth, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, a receiver, you would probably love that. I bet your favorite
Oh
route's like
yeah.
a go route. It has to be, right?
That was my first ever touchdown, man.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Against oh my gosh, was it shoot, Eastern Michigan?
Eastern Michigan.
Okay, yeah. I knew it. But so your first catch ever was a touchdown, correct?
It was. Yes, it was.
Man, what was that feeling like?
Crazy story. My first catch in high school was also a touchdown. So
Mhm.
I even made a little TikTok about that. So it's kind of been. Hopefully I can do that in the NFL too. Hopefully we can keep the streak going. But yeah, the first catch. So just to kind of tell the story. So we were playing against Eastern Michigan. Um, we didn't really rotate receivers a lot at Miami. Like the main guys really got all the reps. So I wasn't really playing a lot. I didn't really expect to get into the game much this game. And so unfortunately, Reggie, who ended up transferring to Texas Tech, he got hurt in that game. And so I was technically kind of like his backup. But what's so crazy about this game, so I'm thinking, so he gets hurt. I'm thinking, oh shoot, like I'm about to go in. Like I gotta get ready to go. Like we go into halftime, all the coaches are like nowhere to be found. Like they're like going through the plays, making sure They know who's going to be at what role for certain plays. So I didn't talk to anybody all at halftime, and we go out for warmups. I still have no idea if I'm going to play. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna I have to go out there. Like I have to play. Like they have to put me out there. And so um but this entire game, so Coach Martin even talked about this in an interview. I'm holding signs. Like I'm like we didn't bring a lot of staff or GA to the away games. So I'm holding personnel signs during the game. And so Coach Martin ended up telling me like he's like, "Hey Cole, like we have this one play. Like if we call it, you're going in the game." And it's like a run play. Like it's just like a simple run play. I'm like, "Okay, well, we call this one play, I'm going in." But I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, do I still have to hold the signs? So like
Yeah.
I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be holding the sign, they're gonna call the play, I'm gonna throw the sign down and run out there and go play. So I asked him that. He's like, he looked at me like I was crazy. He's like, no, Cole, you're not holding the sign. You probably use some curse words in there. But so yeah, so I go out there, it was a run play. Thank the Lord, Brett Gabbert checked to a pass play. And luckily I knew the checks. Like I had been practicing the whole week. So I knew what we were game planning for. He checked it. It was a go ball to the boundary and they were in cover three. So like I ended up like getting width like from the corner and he threw it to me. I went up, caught it, dove for the end zone. And oh my gosh, that is probably the greatest like feeling I've ever felt in my life was scoring that touchdown.
Now, how often does a quarterback usually check to a pass play?
I feel
Like,
like it varies for the quarterback and for the school. I know that year, especially that game specifically, our coaches had a lot of trust in Brett. So they would just be like Coach Martin, I think even said it one time. Like we had a drive where we called one play all the way down the field and he checked the play every single time. So it was like he was literally running the offense.
yeah.
So I feel like it depends. It wasn't like that as much with the next year with DeQuan, but so I feel like it depends on the quarterback, like how much they trust him, and then also just the offensive coordinator. Like I even asked the offensive coordinator here at Syracuse and the quarterback, and they don't really check too much here, like check plays.
So you said it was the best feeling in the world when he got the touchdown, but like what were the emotions? Were you in disbelief? Could you like when he heard he was checking into a pass play, were you thinking this is an opportunity? Like what was going through your mind? Because in those 10 seconds probably.
Yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster of emotion. So yeah. So yeah, I go out there. It's a run play, so I'm not thinking much of it. I'm like, I'm gonna just go block the corner. And then I see the check that he does, and I'm like, okay, I have a go ball. And this is like going in my I'm like, no way he throws it to me though, right? Like there's still four other receivers on the field. Like, no way this is coming to me. And then yeah, as I was running and I turned around and the ball was in the air, it was just like it all happened so fast. Like it was just routine. Like you don't even think about it like in the moment. It's kind of just like catch the ball and go score. But that moment when I looked at the ref and realized like when he put his hands up, man, I wish everybody else could feel that feeling. Like it was like I couldn't even celebrate. I was so hyped. I just like started flexing and hit my head. Like it was literally like the most exciting moment I've ever had in my life was
Mhm.
that.
High school, you didn't start playing until your junior year. I mean, could
Mhm.
you ever dream to be in that moment, like that you're gonna be in that spot? Like, could you have ever fathom that you're gonna be playing D1 football, catching a touchdown? Like,
Man, definitely not. No. I used to tell like all my teammates and stuff like, oh, I'm a hooper. Like I'm a basketball player. Like I literally joined the football team at first kind of just like for fun. Like I still thought like maybe I'll be playing low level Division 1, Division 2 basketball. It was kind of just like a second option potentially. So yeah, definitely not. Maybe more so senior year, but when I first started playing, oh, heck no.
mhm.
No.
Yeah, I was talking to Kirion Davis a couple
Yeah.
days ago, and I was like, "Yeah, like Cole didn't start playing till so late. You know, what kind of pushed him to?" And he said, "You know, maybe he was one of the reasons, but like, was it just you knew everyone on the team and you wanted to play? They're your friends, you go to the same school, you actually thought football could help you in a way? Like, what made the push to saying I want to play football kind of late?"
It was more so we actually had one coach. There was an assistant coach, older guy, and he used to come to me in the hallways like every single day sophomore year. He'd come to me, he'd be like, Cole, like, do you know who Calvin Johnson is? I'm like, yeah, I know who Calvin Johnson is. He's like, that could be you. And I just always like brushed it off. I was like, okay. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, like I'm around 6'4", 6'5", playing basketball. Like 6'4", 6'5", playing football is a huge difference. So yeah, he was a huge factor, that coach, for sure. I still text him from time to time.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, like this past season I actually texted him and I was just like, thank you. Like thank you for doing this with me. But I'd say the biggest moment, the really like deciding factor,
Mhm.
um I grew up with a few guys that ended up playing high level college football. It was Justice Haynes. You probably know him. He went
Yeah.
to and ended up at Bama, Michigan, now at
He
Georgia
tech
Tech.
now. Mhm.
Um, Ethan Nation, he played with me as well. He ended up transferring to Roswell or going to Roswell for high school, and then he went to Nebraska, I want to say, out of high school. And the deciding factor for me was I was sitting there on my couch, and I was on Instagram, and I'm seeing that these dudes are on visits to Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, all these big schools. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, these guys are not, and if they are, they're not that much better athletes than I am. I was probably cocky in the moment, but that right there, and then the coach always like saying I could do it. That moment was definitely like I literally went to my mom and I was like, "Hey, mom, like I think I'm gonna play football. I'm gonna try
Mhm.
to do this."
And so are those like football retreats?
Um,
Or are those different?
what do you
Like,
mean?
so, well, when I was texting Kieran, he was like, asked Cole about football retreats. And I was like, what does
That's
that mean?
so funny.
I was
That's
like,
so
what does that mean? I had
yeah.
no idea. I thought it was when you guys went on visits. And so,
Yeah, also so those were visits. Those were the visits that
okay.
going on. But Kieran's talking about so yeah, we did like team bonding retreats. That's so funny he brought that up. That dude's hilarious. Um, yeah, we would do it in the summer and we would go and stay at like a camp and it would just be the whole team, the whole group of guys, and like we're out on the lake together, like we're rowing, like fires, like just staying up late, like bunk beds with your teammates. It was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we did that. That definitely brought our high school team closer together.
Mhm. Yeah, how did that get started? Was it just the coaching staff? Was it the players wanted to do something?
I want to say they did it. They had always done it at BT. We had like a older head coach, Coach McFarland. He works at Georgia Tech right now. Really big time coach in Georgia. And I want to say he started that retreat and just like bringing the guys together and stuff like that. So I want to say it was almost like a tradition that we had.
But yeah, so going on those visits though to different schools, Georgia, that's what you kind of admired. And you went on some, right? You went to Florida State. I saw you took a visit there. You went to Michigan State. Um, what was it like actually experiencing those universities when you were in high school?
Yeah. What's funny about some of those is that was kind of like the Michigan State visit, because I was not highly recruited whatsoever. It was like that was little stuff. Like the Michigan State visit, it was a junior day. I think one like scout had seen my tape or something and thought like I'd be a great tight end. So I get up there and like they wanted me to play tight end. I didn't want to play tight end, and I don't think I really ever talked to them after that. And then yeah, the Florida State that was with. It's so funny. It looks like I was like a really high recruit. I was not. I was with a 7-on-7 team. I was playing with Hustle, and we went to a few Florida schools, so I got to take pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, they did not know who I was. They might know who I am now, but yeah, they did not really know me.
So like, was it hard though? Like you're going to these programs and like yeah, they're giving you the chance to take some photos and post it, which is cool, but
Hmm.
you're not being recruited, right? Was that hard on you?
It definitely was because yeah, I'd be with like a group and they'd be like, oh, like let's get like these guys' heights and weights, and I'd be like, you want mine? And they're like, no, we're good. Like, so it was almost like just like being able to see like a cool like program and stuff like that and kind of get understanding what college football is like a little bit. But yeah, I was definitely not seen as a guy that they would take, which is crazy. But
Yeah, so what was that, I guess, recruitment process like for you? Because most guys get offered an interest sophomore, junior year, right? And you're just now suiting up junior year and not a lot of exposure, obviously. What was that recruitment like for you? I knew you got some offers. Your first one, I think, was from Columbia, but how did it all kind of flow through? How did you get your film out there to show people like you should want me?
yeah, one thing that so like I push this out all the time is just like advocating for yourself. So I went to all really how it happened because it was so late, nobody really knew who I was. I went to a ton of camps. So I went to a bunch of like these so-called like mega camps where there'd be like thousands of college coaches. So I went to a bunch of those, ran a good 40, did well in one-on-ones, things like that. And that was kind of the first time that I was getting recruited. You know, like these coaches probably saw me. I had good size and I did well in drills and things like that. And they were like, okay, we don't know who this is, but we got to talk to him. So yeah, I was able to pick up some of those like Ivy League schools. Northern Illinois was my first. It was like Northern Illinois and Air Force were my first uh like FBS
Mhm.
division offers. But yeah, the process was really crazy. It was really fast because I didn't have that kind of long. Like I just had to start like here. Most people it's like kind of rising. Like it was kind of like I went to camps and then there were coaches and it
Mhm.
was the most insane feeling ever. I cried actually when I got my first offer
Yeah.
from in Columbia. In Columbia.
What was that like then? Was it just a relief? Like what led to that emotion?
It was definitely a relief. Because like my family does well, like they definitely do well, but I didn't like my goal was always to get a scholarship for sports because I didn't really, I didn't want to have them have that stress on them or even me in the future. So just being able to say that like I could go to college for free, oh my, because I was gonna end up going to college, but being able to go for free, like that was like the biggest relief ever. Like just being able to say that I did that for my family and for myself
Yeah.
is definitely a great moment.
Yeah. Is your family kind of your why too?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I got two brothers. My older brother was always pushing me. He was kind of like the example. He didn't play sports in college, but just like the way he like just goes about life and his mindset, like it's just so like admirable. He kind of would always lead me in the right direction. And then my younger brother is just like my biggest fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely having both of them. And then my parents are so amazing. Just having all of them kind of support me was definitely a big reason for my why.
Yeah. And did they, I'm guessing they helped you, right? In terms of getting to the mega camps and be able to help you with the right steps moving forward.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, both of my parents. We talk about that, just like the long drives or some of these camps, like just like we always thought like I could definitely do this, but you don't know in the moment. It's like we're just paying to go to these camps. Like, is it worth it? So I guess it ended up being worth it. But yeah, it's going on these long road trips with my parents to some of these camps. It was amazing. So I thank them for that for
Were
sure.
they surprised you wanted to play football?
Um
Were they happy? Were they excited? I mean,
like when I was making the transition to
yeah,
football,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think because so I played football when I was younger. So
Okay.
I did end up playing like youth football a little bit, but I ended up quitting like going into high school just so I could really focus on basketball. So they always knew I enjoyed football. I would say basketball still probably is like my favorites. I love basketball. That was my first love. But when they saw how determined I was to, possibly make it happen with football, I think it was almost like they were as motivated as I was. Like they wanted to help me and do everything with me. But yeah, it was not easy. Not an easy switch at all, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And so talking about basketball, was there a moment where you realized like maybe this isn't going to get me to where I want to go?
Yeah. I had interest from a few smaller schools and things like that. But it was definitely that like my basketball program at Blessed Trinity was okay. I was kind of used as like a big man, which kind of sucks.
That's what always happens, right? They find
Yeah, it's
whoever is above like
terrible.
6'4" and they
It's
throw you at
terrible.
center, right?
Put me in the paint, man. Get me at practice, and I'm doing post drills. It's like I'm not gonna be able to do that in college.
Yeah, I know.
It definitely messed me up for sure. Um, I wouldn't say there was like really a defining moment when I knew I like this wasn't gonna work, but it was kind of like a trajectory. It was like the closer I got to senior year, I was like, okay, I probably don't want to end up going to a smaller school. Um, so yeah, it was kind of heartbreaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely was.
Well, you should walk on. You should do two sports at one time, man.
You're right.
That's
That's
what you need
funny.
to do.
I did talk to I'm cool with the Miami, Ohio basketball coaches, and I told them like, hey, like I could go out there and at least guard somebody. So
I think you'd be riding the pine right now. They're cooking.
yeah,
But
they don't need me. They definitely don't need me.
looking at Miami of Ohio, though, you get there. you switch away from high school, and obviously it isn't the same necessarily as Syracuse, but it's still FBS football. It's mid-major, and they're in this like 5 year span of just dominating the MAC and having amazing year after amazing year. What was that adjustment to being like, okay, I'm really in it now. I'm in the thick of it. I'm playing college football and just adapting to nutrition, to the weight room, and the schedule of it.
It was a lot. It's funny. I was literally just talking to my teammates about this today. Like, I genuinely thought like there was a chance. I like there were a few days I thought about quitting. Like, it was terrible. Like, because high school, I only played 2 years. Like, I was good, but I wasn't. I didn't have the experience that a lot of these like guys had, especially when they're 22 years old at this point in college football. So it was a lot for sure to take in. Like you said, like those 5 a.m. wake ups and things like that. Um, I came in the summer, so I didn't enroll early, trying to learn the playbook. And I had never faced press in my life, and these dudes are pressing the crap out of me. Oh my gosh, it was definitely a lot. I ended up being able to get through it, but yeah, I was not good. I was not
Mhm.
good when I first got there.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that. I always feel like people talk about going from high school to college, college to the NFL. Each step, the what you're going against, you're seeing schemes, you're seeing different types of formations that you've never even heard of before. So, was learning that taking a toll on you?
Yeah, it was definitely new. The game is so much faster, and then, like you said, like having to read a defense. Like when I was in high school, it's kind of just like, well, go run a go ball and go
Yeah.
catch the ball over the guy. When you get to college, it's a lot more you have to learn. So, I'm still learning a lot for sure. As I'm getting older and have more game experience, but yeah, I would say that aspect is definitely overlooked as well. Just like learning defenses, especially when you don't even play defense.
So you talked about some like Reggie Virgil was there. The
Mhm.
receiving core at Miami, the guys you were, I guess, learning from in a sense, a lot of great players. Him, Javon Tracy, and then obviously Cam Perry, who's going, I think, Colorado now.
Yeah.
What was that support system like? Just being able to pick their brain and learn from them as the veterans in the locker room in a sense.
Yeah, it no that receiving room was amazing. My freshman year, I wasn't super close with them, but a lot of great talents. Like a couple more guys, Gage Larvin with the Browns, Cade McDonald. He was even had a short stint with the Browns this year. Um, and then the guys you mentioned, like these are all top receivers. So honestly, that is something that I might have taken for granted was being able to, it kind of sucked. I wasn't really playing a lot, but being able to see how they worked, see the types of routes they were running and just picking their brain about different things. It definitely helped a lot, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the main reasons for how I improved so quickly was just having those guys around me and being able to watch them on film and have them right next to me and teaching me things.
Yeah. Was it hard not playing right away?
Yeah. I feel like that's definitely a struggle for a lot of people coming out of high school because you go from being the guy, being the man to shoot, I don't even know how good I am.
Yeah. Like bottom of the depth chart. You have no
Yeah,
idea where you
exactly.
are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And but when you were at high school, real quick, you were playing with a ton of talent. I mean, I remember I wrote it down somewhere. Like the guys that were in your roster, you mentioned Justice Haynes,
Mhm.
JC French was there as your quarterback, right? Now he's at
Yep.
Cincinnati. Um, gosh, let me pull it up.
My man did his homework.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying, man. But obviously,
Awesome.
Kieran Davis was there, then Drew Stephenson, Marcellus Townsend, Bryce Lewis, Brooke Goodman, who's also at UC again with JC French, which is kind of cool. Like
That is
that's
really
that's pretty
cool.
sweet. Nick Pearson, Ryan Snipes, like having all. I mean, there's a bunch of more names, but having all this talent on there, when you walked into it and they're being recruited, did you did you feel like I don't know how to put it, but were you like I don't know the right word, but you're walking into so much talent. You don't know how you're going to compare to them. Was that a little worrisome in a way? Was it intimidating in any way?
I would say like so yeah, Blessed Trinity is definitely a powerhouse when it comes like they won 3 straight state championships like my freshman year and then later in middle school. So it definitely was like there was definitely a moment where it was like, okay, I know I'm a good athlete. Like, could I do this though? Um, maybe it was a little intimidating. Like the first day I dropped every pass. The first day I dropped every single pass that I showed up. And that was another moment where I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I would say they were all like I was really good friends with them, so like they were able to like push me and stuff like that. So it was intimidating, maybe like the thought of it, but I was pretty confident that like I'm a good athlete, I can make this work.
Yeah, what was it like being recruited all at the same time?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, especially having Justice there. It definitely helped. I'd get pulled out of class and it would be Kirby Smarts on campus. Like Bama just came, Nick
Yeah.
Saban would be there. So it was definitely a lot of fun to get that because I didn't really get that for basketball. So it was a big change. Very
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I'm glad you mentioned it. I mean, would all these coaches come to your practices, come to your games and watch you at all?
Yeah.
Or
Especially for like the team. Like I said, I wasn't crazy recruited out of high school just because I was so new. More so senior year than junior year. I would say junior year, kind of the recruitment came from some of the other guys we had on the roster, and then senior year, it was a little bit more for me. So it was definitely changed those years.
yeah. So when you meet those guys, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, even if it's short interaction, you're in
Mhm.
high school, you're like 16, 17 years old, 18 maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, were you
it's
like, what was that like?
yeah, it's surreal. Oh my gosh, like Heupel was there from Tennessee. So many, I can't even name all of them. Like I said, probably not there for me, but being able to have those interactions and being like, oh my gosh, like they're asking questions about me, like I might be able to do this. Like it was really cool.
Yeah, did it motivate you knowing like, hey, they're gonna be coming here. Maybe it's not for me, but I know they're here. If I just keep working at it, that can be me someday.
Definitely, definitely. And like I said, like that moment that I had where I was seeing them go on visits and I'm like, okay, we're kind of in the same tier athletically. Like this is something I can do. If they're there for him, like I think I could, potentially do it as well.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think basketball and track helped you in football in any way?
oh, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Basketball definitely helps because like they would always tell me just like, oh, like just go get the rebound. Like that's what like if it's a jump ball, cold, just go get the rebound. That's what they used to tell me. So I was like the basketball guy. So it definitely helped with my hands and stuff like that. And then track was something I picked up later, kind of just to get faster. But track was another crazy story as well. Like my first, I did they had me come out to do high jump, and it was like my first meet at my first meet was regionals, which is like really late in the season. Um, I got like third, and then the next meet I was able to get our school record. So that's a whole nother
Yeah,
crazy.
dude, I saw that. It's like what, 6 and 4 inches or something nuts like that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes. So
that
you
was crazy.
so you never ran track before and you just kind of joined?
Yeah, so that's another man. High school is pretty nuts. That's pretty crazy. I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind similar to like the football story, kind of just joining late. I went out there. We had a good high jump coach who currently coaches at Kennesaw State, and yeah, I want to say I had like 3 practices before regionals and ended up qualifying. And then the next meet, I was able to like our school record was 6'2", which if people see this, they like that's not that good. But I
Mhm.
mean, the fact that I was able to even break that was just another crazy testament to like the work that I was putting in and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, so you're a natural athlete, right? Like basketball, track, football, you're a natural athlete. And so we talk about college and you're learning the playbook. But like what are the separation points? Because when you like you said, when you go from high school to college, you go from being the guy to
Mhm.
everyone's super talented, super athletic, everyone's smart, they have their football IQ. Like what are the small things that you do or you think you need to do to differentiate you from somebody else to say like I can be the starter now because I can do X, Y, and Z rather than just relying on my speed or my height.
Definitely. I think the biggest thing kind of falls into just like your mindset and like confidence as an athlete. I think like sports is probably like almost 80% mental. Like just believing in yourself and like knowing your assignment and like what to do is a huge factor. Like I know what really separated me because early on, like going to college, like my confidence was really low. Like I wasn't performing well. Like it was hard to be confident when I wasn't doing well. When I ended up making the change to like actually knowing the playbook, which was separated me as well from a lot of guys that didn't know the playbook, learning the playbook and then just having the confidence that like I'm gonna go catch this ball every single time I step on the field. that's when I really just excelled for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, and so with Miami, you went to three straight MAC championships, three bowl games. Looking at those championship appearances, what were those like, especially your first one and seeing like, yeah, this is a legit team, and then going to a second one where you weren't really utilized, but you played in a couple games, you played in the bowl game afterward. Um, what were those experiences like for you, and then help you kind of get there and be the guy junior year?
I think it's super important. I think the best positions to be in are when you're winning. Everything's great when you're winning.
Yeah.
So yeah, that freshman year was huge for me. Beating Cincinnati, which was a huge upset, with the talent we had, and then winning the Max Championship that year as well. Just being around that culture just made you want to just do better. Like when you're in I've never really, thankfully, I've really never been in a program that's kind of losing, but when you're losing games, like I imagine it's hard to
Mhm.
want to wake up every day and put in the work. So yeah, being able to go to those MAC championships every year and being on a team that was competing, like it made it fun. Like it made it so then I wanted to put in all this extra work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, you're right. Locker rooms, they explode when teams start losing, and when they have a high expectation, like you guys did at Miami, obviously it didn't happen this way. But when you go from like being king of the hill to losing and losing games you aren't supposed to, it can
Yes.
be really bad. So yeah, it's important, to your point, to like see what people do, the work they put in, so that you
Mhm.
know how to keep that winning tradition up, and it helps cultivate a better locker room. Um, but looking at the your transition into your third year at Miami, and you exploded on the scene. You had over 600 yards receiving, over 40 yards, 40 receptions. Did you know entering that point in time, maybe that practice or that spring practice and that winter practice, that you had a real chance at like making your mark on the depth chart and being a starting wide receiver?
I definitely knew that I had the opportunity to this past year, but even then it was still like muddy. I didn't know. We brought in five transfer receivers, and it kind of hurt a little bit because it was kind of like, okay, they don't know if I can be the guy, which maybe rightfully so. I hadn't really done a lot in the past, but it definitely like in the spring, like actually no, I didn't know that I was gonna end up having the season I did. I knew I was very confident in myself and knew like I could be the guy, but I really didn't know until the season started and I was having these great games. Like I knew myself, but I don't think people kind of around the program knew that I could be that guy.
Mhm. Do you think that spring game opened up the door for you?
I think so. I think so. That spring game was huge. Because I had a decent spring. Nothing like I made a lot of good plays, but I wasn't probably as consistent as I should have been. And then yeah, from that spring game moving forward into fall camp, oh, it was a different. I think that definitely improved my confidence a lot. And then just the quarterbacks trusted me a lot more. Just being able to make some of those plays. So yeah, that's what definitely skyrocketed me to kind of be the guy.
Yeah, so you mentioned confidence, so that's important, right, for you to have
Definitely,
success. Yeah,
definitely.
so you gotta be confident on the field. So when you had those three touchdowns in the spring game, and people were kind of taking notice of you, um, going back to like other things, like did it just kind of breath of fresh, like it was relieving, just like okay, like hey, I can do this, I can be who I think they want me to be.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially because they were always like you're like a bigger receiver, you're supposed to make those contested catches, and I was able to make them routinely in that game. So it definitely was like I was so glad that I could just kind of show everybody, especially in the community, like I can be the guy. Like I should be the guy that's on the field,
Mhm.
getting those opportunities to make those plays. And it was great that everybody got to see that as much as I believed in myself.
Yeah, so you had a great year, and I think the most exciting game you had, I think we'll probably agree, is the Buffalo game.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
You had two nasty catches, man. I mean, what were those moments like for you?
Oh, that was awesome. But the Mac is so funny because we have the whole Maction. So I
Yeah.
want to say it was either like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one of those games. It's night game. It's like 8 p.m. It's in Buffalo, freezing. There's nobody in the stands. Like, so it definitely took some extra motivation to go out there. But yeah, some of those plays were just really, it was just so special. You know, Like you're referring to like the one I had over the dude, and the other like one-handed one.
Yeah, yeah,
I
down
had
the
never
left
really
side.
made like up until that point, I didn't really have any like crazy catches like that in game. And to be able to have both of those in one game, oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, those are things you probably dream of. Like you moss somebody, right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
that like that was your first time doing it in college? I'm sure you did it probably in high school, but that's against someone who's like, 5'8", can't really guard well.
exactly right.
But what was going through your mind? Were you like, holy crap, like what just happened?
Yeah. I feel like at that, like, it's like when we were going back talking to the first touchdown that I had the year before, that was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it. But like, I'd say when I made those plays, it was more so like I'm that guy. Like
Yeah.
it's more so like I know I can do this. Like I made that play. Like it was almost it was almost like I don't even know how to explain that feeling. It was kind of just like that's what I should be doing, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I get that. I mean, because you're a starter at that point, and
Mhm.
you practice, and you've already had big moments, so it's like, yeah, it is what you should be doing. But that one-handed catch, dude, that was awesome. I mean, it blew up
That's crazy.
everywhere, right?
That was crazy.
It was a crazy seeing your name trending and that
Oh
being
yeah.
posted everywhere.
I think that's what put me on the map social media wise. Like I saw that all over Twitter. We're on the plane back and I'm just like looking up different stuff, which was really cool to see. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the top 10 plays of the week, which kind of sucked.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
for ESPN.
It's because they forgot about it, because it's happened so early in the middle of the week.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That was a
Exactly.
problem. That was a problem
That's
with
what
it.
the problem was.
You played in some great atmospheres. Obviously there's the MAC and the games you played there, the games at Miami, but you played at Wisconsin, you played at Cincinnati,
Yep.
Northwestern Notre Dame. Was there a certain atmosphere or stadium where you walked into where you were just like shell shocked by being able to play there? And then was there also an atmosphere that was just the noise is insane here? Like this is awesome. This stadium is packed. Everyone's going crazy.
Yeah, I would say the first like eye opener, like welcome to college football, was definitely I would say Cincinnati. My freshman year, like that was like rivalry game. It's almost like a pit. Like it like goes
Yeah.
down. Really cool stadium. And it was packed. Like, oh my gosh. Just being on the field for that game, like that was like, this is why I'm here. Like this is why I play. Like for moments like this. I may not have really been in the game, but just being able to see that, that was super surreal. And then, like you said, Notre Dame was an awesome atmosphere. I really love Wisconsin. Wisconsin was cool. The jump around was awesome.
Did you start jumping around, or did you have to
I
like
did.
play it cool? Yeah.
We were losing, but I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I couldn't
You were
get too.
hanging in there, man. I thought Miami was gonna pull it out. Like it was what, 10-0 entering the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, that
Mm.
game was really interesting. I think we didn't really know how we were going to be offensively. I think we took like a very conservative approach to that game, which we probably shouldn't have. It was more so kind of like a how can we kind of cut by and win versus, we should probably have taken some more deep shots. I don't really know what their confidence level was in the receiving room at that point because there's a lot of new guys.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I think we definitely could have won that game for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. You guys have the talent to do it. And Wisconsin, they were like limping around offensively. The defense was holding them in check,
Yeah.
Miami's defense. So another thing. So that UC game though, you mentioned it, winning that game, beating the rival. What was that locker room like? What was that experience like? Could you believe it? Like, obviously, you walk into the game thinking we're gonna win every game, but
Mhm.
after actually doing it, what was that like?
Yeah. So like we get there. And I'm like, this would be pretty awesome. We can win this game. And the moment when I was like, oh my gosh, we might actually win this, first play of the game was like 90-yard touchdown to Gage on the sideline. And I'm like running down the sideline, oh my gosh, we might win this game. And then um like obviously block a extra point or block a field goal to send it to overtime, end up winning the game. That was a crazy rushing the field. But the craziest moment um, from that whole experience. So we drive back to Oxford. Everybody's going crazy on the bus. We're so excited, and we took a different path, and we're like, why are we going this way? They parked the buses on High Street outside of Brick, and we all got out of the buses and just ran in there. And oh my gosh, people were like random people were telling me they love me, they're hugging me. I didn't even play, but like, oh my, it was such a surreal experience. That experience definitely made me want to be a guy, like playing college, like wanting to win football games.
Yeah, so what was that fan base like embracing you the past 3 years?
It was, I think the Miami fan base was solid. We were always good. It's kind of tough being a MAC school. Like, not a lot of people go to the school for the football team,
Hmm.
but I think there still was a really great group of fans, especially locally, people from around the area. And then just this past year, actually being a guy on the team, being a top receiver, top offensive weapon, it was really cool to see kind of to get that recognition that I hadn't really got in the past. So yeah, I'm really grateful for all the fans. Even if it wasn't anything crazy, if we didn't have a huge fan base, there were like a lot of people that definitely made me feel special, just coming up to me saying, "Oh my, like you're my favorite player." Oh, like my dad thinks you're awesome. Like let me get an autograph. Like little stuff like that. Really, just it's kind of like why you play.
Yeah, how do you react to something like that when somebody tells you you're their favorite player or my dad like he thinks you're amazing? How do you react? What's that feel like?
It's definitely a great feeling, like you put in all this work and stuff, and that's something that you've always dreamed of. I'm making my character on Madden look like me and stuff, like growing up. So just being able to, there's somebody in front of you that looks up to you like you're a Julio Jones. It's like it's so surreal, such a great feeling. And I'm gonna sign that autograph. I'm gonna take that picture every single time, even if I'm not like a huge name player. Like I'm gonna do that just because I was in that position at one point, and
Mhm.
hopefully I can, get that same type of level when I go to the NFL and do amazing things. I'm definitely gonna try to stay the same way that I am now.
Yeah, I mean it's very I don't know the right word for it, but just you see a kid like that leaves a huge impression on them and it can inspire them to like want to play football or want to go to even to school or just, you know, that leaves a huge positive impression on the person. When you got dropped off at High Street, did you guys stay out or did they make you go back in the bus?
We had to get back on the buses. But we ended up just heading out to High Street after that. But yeah, the coaches went in there, like the whole, just being able to be embraced by the whole student body, like the whole population, like it was amazing.
Ultimately, you entered the transfer portal for Miami, go to
Mhm.
Syracuse, but leading up to like what were the conversations like with Coach Smart with Miami? And when you just told him like, I think I'm gonna enter the portal, what was that conversation like?
Yeah, it's definitely not a great conversation. They obviously want the best for me always, but they also want to win football games. So it's kind of tough. And I know they were kind of battling that. Like, how do we get him to stay? How do we get to keep this player like we really like having in our program? Um, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't like telling people that, I don't like disappointing people. I don't like telling my coach that's put so much into me, like I'm gonna probably end up going somewhere else. But I didn't know for a while that I was gonna transfer. It wasn't um super clear to me like some of these other guys that have like crazy yardage seasons. But yeah, it wasn't a great experience, I'd say,
Yeah.
having to go through that.
What was your thought process behind it? Like saying, obviously you had a successful year at Miami, you liked the university,
Mhm.
but what was the thought process of like, okay, because I'm sure it was hard, right? It was a hard decision to be made.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what was that process like saying, okay, you know what? Like I think I'm gonna enter the portal, maybe it's the best for me to do this, X, Y, and Z. But what went through that whole, I guess, decision?
Yeah. Kind of like how we've been talking about. Like you're just going into like an unknown. Like you got to learn a new playbook, a new coaching staff that doesn't really know you or has seen you make some of the plays that you've made your whole career. So it's kind of like you have to prove yourself all over again. And that was something that, I was definitely, I'm very confident in myself. Like I know I'm gonna do great anywhere I go, but there's still like that uncertainty. Like how are they gonna value me or view me? So it was definitely a hard decision and hard process. I talked to my family about it for a while. Um, just what's like the best situation for me to go to the NFL to accomplish my goals, and it ended up being at a different school. But yeah, definitely a difficult process for sure.
Yeah. And so when you're in the portal, it's an unknown. You don't necessarily, it's a very fast process, right? Like the portal opens, once you enter, you can stay in there for as long as you want, but everyone commits in like 2, max 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And you barely know necessarily like who you're talking to. So
yeah.
what was it like being in there? talking to different schools? Like, what was that whole experience?
Yeah, it was definitely fun because, like I said, I wasn't really recruited that highly out of high school. So just being able to realize that I'm on like a lot of these top schools boards and talking to these big name programs, it was definitely a great feeling to like kind of validate this whole process that I've gone through. Um, yeah, like you said, it's very short. It felt like it was a week. Like bang, bang, bang. I'm talking to coaches. I'm scheduling a visit. I'm doing this, and it happens really fast. So yeah, it's almost like you can't enjoy it too much because it's so quick.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. What were some of the, if you want to share, like, what were some of the schools that were reaching out to you and potentially pursuing you?
Yeah. It was a few different schools. I wouldn't say I was like a number one guy on a lot of schools board. So they were kind of reaching out to me like a little bit later in the transfer portal. But yeah, it was like Syracuse. I was going to take another visit to Oklahoma State, and there was a couple other like Big Ten or ACC schools that I was talking to. Um, but yeah, very short process. I didn't even really get to kind of experience some of these other schools just because it happened so fast.
Yeah, yeah. And so, you mentioned you weren't necessarily the number one guy on someone's board. Was that hard, like waiting, like you see somebody come in, you're like, I gotta wait my turn still?
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I mean, I went through the same thing in high school, so it was kind of that feeling was similar. Like I was definitely talking to bigger schools, which was very different, but it definitely sucked a little bit waiting. But I knew like I was on their board, like they want me, like it's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
end up in a great situation. Like I was praying about it. I knew it was all just gonna work out. Wherever I went, I was gonna put in the work. So I wasn't super stressed. I think my family was a little more stressed than I was. They were like, Cole, is this the right decision? Like, if you're gonna end up in a good spot. And I was like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. And it ultimately did.
Yeah, so you picked Syracuse. What were the deciding factors to say, I want to go to Syracuse. This is the team that I want to play for.
Yeah. I think there's a few. The ACC, great conference. Got a lot of great teams, can put receivers in the NFL. And then Syracuse as a program, just the offense that they run a very high passing offense that we've seen in years past. Maybe not so much last year, just because with the quarterback struggles and injury to Steve, but just being able to see the playbook that they run and how 2 years prior they were able to have multiple guys with over 600, 700 yards and put guys like Armando Gadsden in the league. I feel like it was almost a no-brainer. And they truly valued me. They showed where they could put me in the scheme. And it just felt like I was wanted there. So that was a big reason for me as well.
When you're talking about like the play style they have and how they're going to utilize you, and maybe and you can talk about different schools too in this, but was it like you were doing your own research? Were they telling you a little bit about this, that, and the other? Was it a mix of both? Or did it ultimately say like, yeah, Syracuse is going to use me the right way, and I believe them because hey, I looked this up or I saw these numbers on my own time.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of both. Like they were definitely saying all the right things, and then just doing my own research, looking at stats from year prior, um, even looking up like film and things like that on like how they use the receivers. It all kind of like fit perfectly, especially a guy like me, a bigger receiver. They've had bigger receivers in the past and have utilized them well. So it all kind of fit. It made sense. It made a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah, so Fran Brown, everyone knows him. I mean,
Yeah,
like he is a character to say the least.
definitely.
But what's he like?
Honestly, amazing, amazing guy. I mean, he's an even better person than he is a coach. He's so big on just relationships and connections. I've heard from other schools, like there's coaches that don't even know all the players on the roster. Coach Fran, he's somebody he does weekly check-ins where he'll just say, come stop by my office, come say hi. We can talk about wherever. I just want to make sure you're doing good. So just honestly, an amazing guy. He definitely has like a larger than life personality and how he does things. Super, super cool. But he feels like a coach that like I can truly connect with and talk to.
How important is that to be able to connect with the head coach?
Super important. That's the guy making all the decisions. He has a lot of control over how my career goes. So just being able to know that like I can trust him with anything. He trusts me. He looks at me as a man. Like he says it all the time. Like, um, act like a man to be treated like a man. Like I want to treat you all like men. Like you guys aren't just like you guys are student athletes, but at the same time, like you are young men. So, he talks to us as such and he expects highly of us. So it's honestly a great relationship.
Yeah, and when you go see him in these weekly check-ins, do you have like anything you guys like to talk about in particular? Or is it always football? Is it something like goofy, like Bam dropping 83 points? Like what goes in these conversations?
Yeah, the Bam dropping 83 definitely got brought up in in the locker room a few times. But yeah, with Coach Fran, he's so like he believes in me so much, which is so great to see. So like we could be having a normal conversation, just talking about whatever, and then out of nowhere he'll be like, Cole, like I want you to go be a beast. Like I want you to go out there and go do your thing. And it's like it's good to hear that this guy believes in me so much. So it's a mix of both. It's a lot of we could have normal conversation. He'll joke around and mess with me. And then, he'll just lock in and be like, I know you can do this.
Yeah, and that must feel amazing, right? For your confidence to be like he believes in me.
Definitely, definitely.
So did you know about him beforehand? Like see anything on Twitter? Like did you know like who he was, like how his personality was before you even thought about going to Syracuse?
I definitely had heard of him. I didn't because being from the South, like I know a lot more of like the SEC coaches and stuff like that. But uh yeah, like when I first met him, like it was like I kind of do some stuff just from researching the school before I went on the visit. But yeah, meeting him like just larger than life guy. Like I didn't really know until I met him.
Hmm. Yeah, what was it like when you say larger than life? Is it how so?
He honestly just has like he just speaks with so much like confidence and like poise. And he's got like a very like strong, like he's definitely like a leader for sure.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'd definitely say that's how like just the way he carries himself is like a really, really powerful person for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Like that's the best way I would describe him.
Definitely.
Bummer one time, I was only asking because like last year he went viral for saying he doesn't shower after losses. And then the year before, like he beat I think Miami of Florida and he got Clemson in the playoffs. And like I feel like he always just he can be serious to your point. And obviously the shower thing, he was being serious. It was after a loss, so whatever. But it's still like he seems very funny. Like he seems like a
Oh
fun
yeah,
guy to be around.
definitely, definitely. He's hilarious. He'll do things that like I'm just so surprised by. Like one time we like went in there and I'm thinking we're about to do a punishment. He made us do one up down, and I'm like, is this guy serious? Like, so yeah, he's definitely a funny guy. He jokes with us a lot. Like he'll come in the receiver room and just like talk trash, and because he's like a defensive guy. He has his DBs that he coaches, so he jokes around with the receivers a lot. But yeah, definitely funny guy as well. He's very serious, serious more so than funny, but he definitely understands like when to he can joke around and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, most definitely. So Coach Gaddis, your receiver coach, right?
Yeah.
What's he like? What's he like being around? How's he helping you already improve as a wide receiver?
He's I think I've improved so much. Just he's such a technical receiver coach. Coming from schools like Bama, Penn State, he's coached some top receivers. He was there with Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Ruggs, Waddle, and those are amazing receivers. They have a lot of talent, but he was the guy that ultimately put them in those positions. So it's like it was so great about it is I'm watching film of these guys and like he'll be like, oh, I want you to run the route like this. And it's Heisman winner Devontae Smith running the route. It's like, okay, what you're saying makes sense because it's proven right here.
Yeah.
So he's great. I don't think I've had a receiver coach that's as technical as him, and has the accolades that he has and success that he has. So just being able to know that I have a coach with that type of like
The
record,
pedigree, right?
yeah, the
Just
pedigree to it.
of the greatness, right? Developing
Yeah,
these guys, you know, and seeing them, and he's comparing you to, maybe not saying you're obviously taller than Devontae Smith, right? You're a little bit different than him, but when he shows you something like that and says like, I want you to do exactly what he does, is
yeah,
it, how does that feel like saying he's kind of, in a way comping you to Devontae, saying you can run a route just like him, which is an NFL level route.
yeah, definitely. His biggest, so he was at Michigan. His biggest comparison for me was he was there with Nico Collins. So he's like that's literally the first thing he said to me on the visit. He's like, Cole, like I watch your tape and I see you as being a Nico Collins. You're a big guy and you move really well. And he's like, I think you can do a lot of the same things he did. So that's kind of been really cool for me to see just him showing me the routes he runs and how I can move similarly or in the same way. So it's definitely good to see that.
Okay, Nico Collins. I like that comp. I was thinking
Yeah.
Christian Watson. I love Christian Watson on the
Oh, I
back
love
end.
Chris Watson too.
Yeah, I think he's a dog. Like I really hope he stays healthy because when he's on the field, he is one of the best in the league. Like I really do believe that. But talking about, you like Christian Watson, he compares to Nico Collins. Do you watch certain players in the NFL and try and model your game or take notes from them to say, I like how he does it. This is how I want to do. Maybe similar body types.
Mhm. Yeah, my guys always for compare. I mean, Julio is always like the golden,
Well, of course, right? You're from
you know.
Atlanta, dude.
And
I
I'm from
mean,
Atlanta,
come
so
on.
it
Like,
checks out. It checks out. He
yeah.
he's a freak though. But I think my like perfect comparison, which also is crazy because he's in Atlanta, is Drake London. He's a guy that's around my size. Went to USC. I feel like we kind of move the same. He's a basketball guy too, which is pretty
Yeah.
crazy. So I'd say him, Nico, and then I like watching Amon Ra, St. Brown as well. Those are kind of like my guys that I try to study a lot.
Okay, so why Sam Brown? Because again, obviously way different, but why him?
I think he's just a little bit more versatile. I want to be somebody that can play multiple positions, be in the slot, even at a tight end role sometimes. I did that at Miami. He's somebody that they just move around a little bit more, and I think like a lot of his like releases and route running is just I like it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a zone killer. I mean,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
not play zone. And zone's like everywhere now, at least in the
yeah,
NFL. So huge for him. Looking at this receiving room, like you mentioned, there's a lot of talent in there. Like earlier on, but there's a bunch of new faces, transfers, freshmen. You're a fourth year, right? You're entering your fourth season, so you're new to the team, but
yeah.
you're older. So do you have to? Are you trying to pick up a leadership role, try and be a voice, helping out with some of these guys, coming in who may be a little bit younger, or is it a collective group? Like how's this receiving room kind of taking form in terms of leadership and in that sense?
Yeah. It's definitely different from Miami. Like you said, I'd been there. I knew the offense. It was easier to be in that leadership role. But coming in and being the new guy, it's a little bit more difficult. I could definitely mentor the younger guys. I give them tips on just how to do things day to day and different things that I've learned in my career. But I would say I'm definitely one of the leaders of the receiver room. It's just a little different because I don't necessarily know
Mhm.
the playbook as much as other guys do. I haven't been here. I haven't been around Coach Fran for as long. So, and Coach Fran wants me to be a leader and have a leadership role. He's even told me that. So it is something that I'm growing into and I'm trying to do because I think I can excel in that role. But it's definitely different from Miami.
Yeah, and do you find yourselves like maybe giving out different like I guess pitching different ideas because obviously you're from Miami and you got Otten from Penn State and you have I think Elijah Moore from Florida State and obviously you got oh gosh what's his name Hatcher, right? Umari Hatcher, he's been there at Syracuse, so you guys have just this wealth of information and knowledge from all these different stops. Are you guys giving out different tips from just different experiences there?
Yeah, we definitely talk about kind of stuff that we were taught and things like that. Hatch is a great example too, because he's even older than me. He's been in college for a little bit longer, so he has a lot of good stuff to say. But yeah, I've talked to Coach Gaddis and like asked him questions like, "Why do you want us doing this? Like, I've been doing this my whole career. Like, what's the difference?" And he always has like a great answer for me.
Mhm.
But but yeah, definitely a lot of knowledge in that room, I'd say.
How has Hatch been as a mentor and as a receiver for you guys?
I think he's been great. He has the most experience as far as years in our room. So he's also been a good leader, especially helping me with the plays and stuff like that. So it's like it's still a little weird because it's like I'm an older guy, but I'm new. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm kind of like I'm not grouped with the freshmen. It's more so like just as a new guy,
Yeah.
he's definitely helped me with that leadership role and helped me embrace a leadership role as well on the team.
Yeah, and so another big name there, Calvin Russell, right? The freshman has a lot of hype, really talented, plays football and basketball. What's he like being able to watch and play alongside?
He's a great dude. Honestly, he was with basketball for a lot of the time, so I didn't really get to gauge how well of an athlete he is, but he looks like an exceptional athlete. I think he can be really good for us this year. But yeah, I honestly I wasn't around him too much this whole time because he was with basketball majority of the time. It was little bits and pieces he would pop into meetings, but now that he's with us full time, I think he can be a great athlete and great player for us.
Yeah, and so when you're practicing, obviously again, we just came out of winter drill, so maybe not too much happening on the field per se. But has there been a player that you see and it's like, wow, he's really impressive to watch. Like, he stands out in the way maybe he works or the way he runs a route, or maybe it's another position group when it's like, okay, that's impressive. I haven't seen so many people do that before.
It's a good question. I would say, yeah, like you said, we actually start practice tomorrow, so we'll be in helmets and
Oh,
everything.
good luck, man.
But yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll do 7-on-7 and things like that. I would say out of position wise, like the quarterback room we have is insane. Steve Angeli, guy that's been there since last year. He works incredibly hard. He's obviously coming back from the injury, but he's doing really well. Amari Odom from Kennesaw State, another great talent. I'm pretty close with him as well. And then Malachi Nelson coming in from UTEP, a 5-star, once again, a great talent. So seeing that room work, they all look amazing. I'm really excited for the quarterbacks we have on the roster. And then, yeah, Hatch, great guy. I like watching him run routes. I mean, he's pretty exceptional. And then we call him Booby, Darius Johnson
Okay.
should be his name.
Yeah.
He's a young guy, but the way he runs routes very well. You could tell he had a lot of experience and training coming out of high school.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are kind of like the guys. It's hard to tell on defense because I haven't really gone up against men
Okay.
yet. But
I know Samuel, Demetrius Samuel. He was
yeah,
on the buzz last year, 17 playing, which was insane.
yeah.
Like Ryan Williams, but yeah, that QB room, really talented. I'm glad you brought that up. What's it like being able to interact with them, and was excitement to be able to go out there and play with them starting tomorrow?
Oh yeah, no, it's super exciting. I mean, all great guys. I'm so close with all of them. They all have great personalities, great work ethics. But yeah, it's awesome because, if we're doing a drill or running routes, like in the past, it was kind of like, okay, let me make sure I go with this guy. Let me make sure I go with like the starter. When we have multiple capable starters on the roster, it's like I could catch a pass from any of these guys and know it's going to be a great ball. So it's so exciting to see.
Yeah, and has Steve been that leader? Because as you mentioned, he's came from Notre Dame. He played last year. Unfortunately, got hurt, but he's been around football for a long time. He's a quarterback. He's been there last season. Has he been kind of a leader in the locker room?
Yeah, he's definitely, I would say, like the main leader of the roster. Him and Fran talk all the time. Fran has a lot of trust in him, and he'll lead meetings. He'll obviously do all of our breakdowns and stuff like that. And he's also helped me with plays and being a good teammate just to have in the locker room overall. So yeah, I think he's been a great leader for us.
Yeah, is it cool seeing the quarterback who does have a lot, Fran has a lot of trust in, take time to talk with you and help you through whatever question you may have?
Definitely, definitely. I feel like Steve sometimes is almost like an extension of the coaching staff. Like he knows the offense so well, and the coaching staff has such great trust in him that it's the only other time I've really seen that was like Brett Gabbert at Miami. So it's really refreshing to see like a guy that's trusted so much and just has a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, dude, Gabbert was a dog, man. I remember like watching those weekday games, killing it, man. I don't know what he's doing now, but I really thought he was going to make a 53 man at some point, like stick, because he is super talented, bro. Like so good to watch. Um, ACC, you're playing the ACC Power Four football. This schedule, man, you got some dogs, some great teams to go
Yeah.
against. Are you excited? Like,
Oh,
this has got to be an amazing feeling, right?
I'm so excited. I'm excited to be able to go out there and be on a huge field with a huge fan base. Um, even just playing at Syracuse, like playing the dome, like that's going to be so much fun. But I'm more of like I love away games. Like I love away
Oh, you
games.
want to quiet the crowd?
Yes, I love quiet. I think it ultimately comes from basketball because basketball is such like a enclosed environment that like being able to do that on a huge football field. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And then like you said, these are huge schools that we're going against in the ACC. teams I grew up watching. Like it's gonna be surreal.
Yeah, Carrier Dome, man. I'm guessing you've checked it out. You've seen it. Thoughts
Yep.
on it? What's it like?
Oh, it's crazy. They always say it's what do they say, 75 and sunny in there every day or something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be great. I went to a couple of the basketball games and stuff like that in there, and then like it's gonna be like an NFL stadium almost, you know.
Yeah, Donnie Freeman, bro. He was great. Kyan
Mm.
Anthony, they're gonna get a new coach, but yeah, that's cool that you went to those games.
Yeah,
Looking at the schedule though, do you have any team in mind or a couple teams in mind that you're circling and saying like, I can't wait to play them?
Notre Dame.
Okay.
Notre Dame. I lost to them at Miami. Uh, I've heard the horror stories of the game last year against Notre Dame. I think that's a game I definitely have circled for sure.
And is that away or home?
I want to say it's at home again.
Okay. Okay. Oh man, that crowd's gonna be sold out. You know that, right? It's gonna be packed
Oh
for
yeah,
Notre Dame. Big game for Steve too. Haven't played
definitely.
at Notre Dame. Then you have Clemson during homecoming week, which is another big game. That I
I
don't.
wish I was away. I
I
wish I was
know. I bet you did, man. I bet you did.
Death Valley.
Yeah, it's a sight to see, bro. It's a sight to
Yeah.
see. But any other games on the ACC schedule that's like maybe any away games that you have in mind of like that's gonna be fun to play at?
I think once we play at Pitt, that'll be a great game. One of the corners was actually at Miami, Ohio. Rayon Strader, he was there. He ended up transferring to where's he at? I'm blanking. But he transferred out of Miami, Ohio, just transferred again. He's at Pittsburgh. So that'll be fun to play against one of my old teammates.
Okay. You also have at North Carolina with Bill Belichick, which will
Oh
be
yeah.
cool, right? Hopefully
That'll
they
be
turn it around.
yeah.
Um, at UConn, at Virginia, at NC State, at BC. So definitely some cool places to check out. Like NC State, gonna be rocking. That's a great place for football. I'll tell you. I went one time when they were playing Clemson and like Clemson lost. Stadium was
Mm.
going crazy. Felt
It's
bad for
a good
the boys on the
environment.
team, but
It's a good environment though.
yeah, it's awesome. Like they pack at every game, and they have CJ Bailey coming back this year, so I think they're gonna be good. I think they'll be a solid football team.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have some good teams. But yeah, ACC, man, it's gonna be way different than the MAC.
Oh
So
yeah.
are
Oh yeah.
you are you ready for that like that skill level change going against these
Oh,
guys?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference, especially going to the Power Four level, you see it more so in like the O line, D line. Like I think there's a lot of players in the MAC and some of these smaller conferences that are skill positions that can play Power Four football, and like we see it every year with transfers. So I mean, I think I'll be just fine. You know, I have the physicals and everything, and I have the knowledge behind me now. So
Yeah.
I think
I was
I'll
gonna
be
ask you this. You played Toledo. You played out, or I don't know if you played out or versus, but you played Toledo this past
okay.
year. And they have like the most insane DBs. I think they're all gonna be drafted. Fuller, uh, McNeil, and then I think Smith. Is it Avery Smith? I think was the other DB
Yeah.
corner. What was that secondary like when you played against them?
Oh, they were sick. Yeah. I was actually on the safety of what's the name? Emmanuel, his
Yeah.
draft day highlight him pop me. So I send that to we actually have a linebacker Dap. He was at Toledo last year, so we were joking about that. But yeah, that secondary was sick. It was definitely like my first real test. Wasn't my best game. I was coming off of some great games before that, and that was definitely a dip. But that was also the first game that our quarterback wasn't there, DQ. So that was a huge, crazy game for everybody. And then having to go against such talented DBs in that game, yeah, it was a recipe for disaster. But it was a good test for sure.
Yeah, no, they're loaded. Um, Two other questions I have for you. The
Mhm.
Bam one, I'm just curious because he was talked about in the locker room. Was it better? It's better than Kobe's, right? Like,
That's so
because my thought process behind it, because I've been talking about with my friends about it too, is like
yeah.
he dropped 83, okay,
Mhm.
and Kobe went against a bad Raptors team. Bam went
Yeah.
against a bad Wizards team, so comparable.
Yep.
Bam had what 62, 60 something at after three quarters. So when
Yeah.
the game was super competitive, he was dropping a ton of points.
Yep.
He scored 20 more in the fourth quarter, but like Kobe put up 15 in the final 4 minutes. So, you know, that's the same comparison. Like, sure,
Yeah,
they stat pad it. You're still gonna make your free throws.
definitely.
He has to be in the game. People saying they should have pulled him. They were missing their three of their top four scores. They
Yeah,
needed
they
him in the
were.
game.
They
You know what I
needed him.
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I know.
And they triple teamed them. Stop them. Like if
I'm
you're, you
saying.
know what I'm saying? Like
I
stop
agree
them.
with you. I completely agree. 83 at base value is more than 81. But at the same, like you can't discredit the game just because, well, one, like you said, he shot a lot of free throws. I mean, the reason he shot a lot of free throws because they couldn't guard him. Like they were
Yeah.
fouling him every play. So the free throws are gonna come, and then he was making them. And then there maybe was a little bit of stat padding at the end of the game, but like, come on, like they wanted to see him break the record. Like they were that you can't fault him for
Well,
that.
of course. And the thing is, you don't just walk into 80, like dropping 60.
Yes.
You can stat pad. I don't care. Do it. And he's still gonna, he's probably gassed. Like I
Yeah,
would be. You're getting like absolutely just killed
yeah,
the whole game, right? They're triple teaming you and they're all fouling you. I
yeah,
mean, come
exactly.
on. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like I said to Kobe, they're up by like 15, 20 points and he poured in 15 points with 4 minutes left. They both stat had it, you know?
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
both did it.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with you. I think it was just so crazy because, like Bam's like an amazing player, but it was like if I asked you a week before that who's breaking Kobe's record, none of us are saying Bam. Like,
No, because he's such a passive player too. Like
yeah.
when he's in the game, he just he's like a point forward. I think the
Yeah,
best way to
exactly.
describe him, you know. You played basketball, so LeBron or Jordan.
Oh, I want to say when I was growing up, it was Jordan for sure. But I think what kind of sealed the deal for me in like the past couple years was just like him breaking the scoring record, which I got to watch live on TV, which was so cool. That definitely sealed it for me for sure.
Mhm.
That and then just I well, like when we talk about this is great because I love basketball.
Yeah.
Um, like the comparison is like LeBron is the best basketball player ever.
Most talented, best
Yeah.
player. Yes.
Best player, like, but that's not really what the art. Like the argument is like who had like the greater career, you
Hmm.
know? And I think where Jordan kind of gets a lot of his praise and stuff is because no one has ever seen anyone do that. No one had seen someone that wasn't a center lead a team to multiple championships. Like you did, and he was dunking on everybody. Like the dude
Mhm.
was the most famous athlete in the world. Like,
Yeah.
so I think that's where a lot of like that nostalgia comes from. And it's like 6-0 in the finals. It's like, okay, well, LeBron went to 10 finals. It's
Uh,
like Jordan was getting bounced out of the first round. Like, I
yeah.
don't know. Like LeBron's probably the greatest career ever too. So
See, it's hard because I'm a huge LeBron fan. All right, I'll be forward with it. Like I think he's the best. Like
yeah,
that's the guy. Like I'm going to their game next week because I'm afraid he's gonna retire. You know, I don't want him to retire, man. I'm nervous about that, so I need to see him play one more time.
yeah,
But when you put like the numbers up, it's hard for me to say six championships, dude. That's impressive. He
it
won
is.
three straight, two times.
Yeah,
Like, that's super hard to do.
definitely.
And LeBron does have all the statistical numbers like rebounds, assists, points, all that clears Jordan. I think Jordan has one more MVP than him, five compared to four, maybe yeah, something like that. More depoys, but I don't think depoys matter. You know, he made All NBA first or defense like six times, seven times. LeBron did. Um, but I think I got to go with LeBron because he won six championships compared to four. I don't think two is that huge of a difference. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I don't know if that sounds crazy, but two's not that huge of a difference. And he has all the statistical things beat out on Jordan. And
definitely.
he's also won with three different teams. And people
Yeah,
want to discredit that and say, well, he got all the talent in the world. Like, oh, he got Kyrie and K Love. He got D Wade and Bosh, and then AD this time. But every
yeah,
other team was running the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, every other team had, like, Boston had their God Squad with like Paul Pierce and KG and all of them. So I don't
definitely.
know. I think there's something to it. Winning everywhere is hard to do. So
It
I would go
is.
with LeBron at that point.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up because even so, yeah, Jordan, he also had like the greatest coach ever. Like he had Phil Jackson, like he had this system, and he
Yeah.
was at for his whole career essentially. So yeah, being able to do that with multiple teams. Yeah, I got LeBron.
Eh,
When I was younger, I thought it was Jordan, but I got LeBron. I can't wait for that Like I don't want him to retire, but when he retires, there's gonna be a documentary.
I need a chip though. I need one more ring before he
Yeah.
retires.
I mean, they could do it this year.